You're sitting down to write your MBA application essays, and you start to really think about the questions you encounter. Big, expansive prompts like the ones from CBS, Stanford, and Yale, short, quirky prompts like CBS and Haas, and oddball creative prompts like the one NYU offers. Don't feel overwhelmed. Let's just take a step back. Hi, I'm Jeremy Shinewald, founder and president of mbaMission, and I'm a one-time ambassadorial speechwriter and author of 2 MBA admissions guides. And I'm here today to share 7 critical essay writing tips. Let's do this. Our first tip isn't really a writing tip per se, it's an overarching strategic suggestion, and it is to keep the reader learning. Your reader will lose focus if he or she hears the same story or even a different story on the exact same theme as a response to 2 prompts. So, if you write about how you solved an interpersonal problem with 2 parties that were at odds at work, and then talk about how you solved another similar problem in your community endeavor, the reader will start to yawn. Instead, try to start by taking an inventory of your key experiences and then ensure that you're offering a different window into them in each essay prompt. A simple test. Ask yourself, what did the reader just learn about me at the end of each essay? And if it's something new, you're definitely on the right track. Our second tip is to use the narrative form, or as your English teacher may have shared in high school, show don't tell. Whatever your key point in your essay may be, you don't need to make big declarative statements about it. You need to lead your reader there with your narrative. If you tell the reader your point at the beginning, your reader will again lose interest. Think about that yawn again. So, when Yale asks you to describe the biggest commitment you've ever made by starting your essay with, the biggest commitment I've ever made was sticking with my brother through thick and thin and ensuring he got back on his feet after his battle with substance abuse. Just as an example, you'll have given us the end of the beginning and stifled the intrigue of the story. What if you started with, even my mother had given up, but I had to try again. I called the treatment facility and asked to speak with a therapist. In our second example, you're likely drawn into the story. What's going on? Where is this going? You're keeping the reader engaged. Narratives do that. If you have a good story, just tell it, using the details of what happened. We will learn of your heroic commitment to your brother and understand what it says about you, so you don't need to tell us in the beginning, and you certainly don't need to explicitly tell us how great you were at the end. We should just get it via your story, via your narrative. Our third tip is related to our last one. Open your essays strongly. Emphasis on open and strongly. As we just learned, you need to start your essay in a way where there's a lot more to learn. You need to truly open that essay up and ensure that we see a story that's about to unfold. And you need to do that in a way where that opening sentence itself is intriguing. So let's go back to that example before. Even my mother had given up, but I had to try again. We learn a lot in that sentence, but we have a lot more to learn. Pay attention to your opener because it sets the tone for you. Our fourth tip, every story needs a conflict. We use conflict in the literal sense here. We need stories that have an arc, otherwise they won't be interesting. Every story needs an opposing force. We need to see that you're overcoming an obstacle or some opposition. Otherwise the story is just an easy cruise to an ending and we don't learn about your character. So maybe you're battling against time or entrenched interests or resource constraints or even ignorance. It doesn't matter. But you need to be leaning in against something for your essay to work. Our fifth tip, get the details right. If the AdCom asks you, why our school, or what are your goals, as most do, really make sure that you have substantive answer. Anything generic or lacking thought could really sink your candidacy. Imagine you could hire anyone to your firm and someone came into an interview knowing nothing about your company or the job itself. Would you hire that person? Of course not. You need to have thoughtful reasons for attending your target school with examples of classes, clubs, experiential opportunities, and more that show you don't have a list, but you have a plan. You also need to have plausible goals and understand how your MBA will facilitate them. Anything else, and frankly, you are in trouble. They won't hire you. For more advice on these types of questions, be sure to check out my video on personal statement tips. Our sixth tip is to respect the word limits. Very few schools have cutoffs where you literally can't enter more than their word limits. Most schools just give you a maximum and expect that you'll be able to abide by it. So if a school sets a 500 word limit, you can go over by a few words. They won't throw out a great applicant over a few simple words. But we would never go beyond 5% over and would even suggest keeping it tighter than that. Again, no one is vindictively counting words, but you want to send a message that you respect instructions and the admissions committee members' time and believe in fairness. So stay in the limits to the extent possible. Okay, our seventh and final tip, and it's a simple one. Answer the question. Answer the question, answer the question, answer the question. Please, when you're done writing and editing, go back and be sure that you've answered the question. Sometimes you start in one place and end up in another, and you end up answering what a school hasn't asked, and that won't help you at all. Answer the question. Okay, that was a lot. But if you'd like even more essay writing tips, be sure to download our essay writing guide, which is available for free on our site and linked in the description below. And if you'd like to speak with me or another expert MBA admissions consultant, mbaMission, sign up for a free 30-minute consultation where you can get an honest profile evaluation and ask any question you have about the application process. Lastly, if you enjoyed this video and want to get more MBA admissions and application tips, don't forget to like it and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Best of luck with your essay writing process.